Hi. So I'm going to give you an overview of the hash configuration dashboard. This is the Token Engineering Commons and Common Stacks effort to actually enable communities to design their own economies and exit from the crypto technocracy. Now, of course, we need people who are experts to design these economies. It's very difficult to do to figure who is the right person to choose, whether or not we have 32 Ether as the staking requirement for staking Ether. This is a challenge. We don't have the right answers. And it's very difficult for the community in general to be informed. We're very privileged in the Token Engineering Commons to have people like you who are able to actually have some time and put in the effort to design an economy. And we wanted to create this system to make it really easy for you to pick parameters, propose parameters, debate the parameters with the community, iterate on other people's parameters. Maybe you see someone who proposed an economic design for the TE Commons and you're like, well, you know, I kind of wish this one number was changed. Let's make it super easy for you to take their parameters and propose it. And this is an effort that was led by Vitor, Fabio, Lauren, Mitch, Jake, myself, YGG, Sam, and many others in the TE Commons community to create this dashboard that I'm going to show you right now. And I just want to walk through it and show you how to actually propose parameters and how at least how I would go through and actually design this system. First thing I want to warn you is when you go to params.tecommons.org/hatch, it might take a little bit to load. We're using a very let's say experimental framework called Panel that could be improved, and we will, for the Common Stack, we'll take this work and make it usable for other projects that want to exit from the crypto technocratic requirement for designing and be able to design their own economy. But for now, this is what we're using. So first off, you'll see there's all these charts on the right. These charts kind of give you feedback on how your parameters will affect the economy. And this first one is the impact hour rate. There's everybody in the TE Commons who's been contributing and earning praise has received impact hours. And this is the price of each impact hour token based off of the total amount raised. Redeemable percent is the amount that when people send money to the hatch, this is the percent that their money will be backed. The tokens that they get are backed by their own funds. And then the cultural bill tribute, this is the percent of funds that are given to the people with impact hours. So these are three important charts. And then we have this outputs overview, which is this is kind of just the overall view of like how much money kind of at the min goal, the target goal, and the max goal, which we'll talk about later. This is a very important box to get an understanding of the parameters that you choose. And also we have this really cool impact hours results page that will tell you, you can go find your name like, okay, hey, I'm Griff Green. This is how many impact hours I'm assumed to have. This is how many impact hours I have right now. This is an optimistic view of how many impact hours I could have. And here are the results based off of my parameter choices that I will get. And then we also have this kind of visual representation of how much money goes to the people who put money into the DAO is in yellow. Black is the funds that are guaranteed to go to the Commons upgrade, and blue is the percentage of funds held by the people with impact hours. And this is a nice visual representation of that. And then, of course, we have the minimum support. Well, we'll go into section 2 in a second. Let's start here. So when designing this parameters, the first step is to pick your target goal. This is the amount of money that you expect that we will raise. So let's say that I expect that we're going to raise $1.5 million. This is really important because it's important that you pick your design criteria and you think this is how much we raise. but at a minimum, we want to raise at least, let's say 400K. If we raise less than this, then the money goes back to everyone and basically call it a failed project. Maximum goal, honestly, after like looking at, having other experiences that I've had, I think it's good to have a maximum. So I'm going to put the maximum at 5 million. And membership ratio, this is how many C-stack, how many die you can put in for every C-stack, for your C-stack score. So if you have a C-stack score of, I'm going to go with 4 for this personally. Hatch period, I like 3 weeks. Hatch minting rate, this is kind of a useless parameter necessarily. It's like the number of TECH tokens you get per X die that is sent. And then hatch tribute, let's lower this to 0.5. And if you need to know what these are, you can click these, this percentage, the question mark here, and it'll explain it to you and also link you to more detailed explanations. So let's just run this simulation and see what happens. When designing the hatch, this first section, the most important piece is the maximum impact hour rate and impact hour slope. So this is where things get really interesting. And I strongly recommend picking one and then running simulation and noticing the change, right? So this lowered the cultural build tribute a lot, which I think is good. Here's the target impact hour rate. So 1 impact hour will be worth 32 XDAI. Target redeemable percent is 83. That's not bad. Target cultural build tribute is 16%. That's not bad. So this is really cool. Let's look down here. Okay, yeah, you know what? I wouldn't mind there to be more variability in this. So I'm going to tweak this because I kind of wish that like there was maybe like if we only raise 400K, maybe the impact hour people should get a little bit more. And but if we raise 5 million, the impact hour people should get a little bit less. So I'm going to tweak this a little bit and maybe we'll see what happens when I lower that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, that kind of achieved this goal. It made it a more curvature. So this gives 26% at 400K and 14% at 5 mil. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I might even make it a little bit more dramatic. Let's bring this down. And this is my choice. You know, you can play with it however you want. The main thing here is this slider. Oh, and you can use the arrows to move it for finer grain. The main thing is that this slider, these 2 sliders are what you really need to play with. Most of these other parameters are pretty basic and you can make a fairly, you can make a decent assumption of how it works. Yeah, I like this. 35% of 35% of the funds would be controlled by impact hours if we only reach 400K. If we hit 1.5 million, it's 27%. Are controlled by impact hour people. If we hit 5 million, it's 16%. You know, maybe that's a little high, so I'll just make one more adjustment. I like the curvature, but maybe we'll actually make this top 160 here. And let's see. Yeah, that's makes it a little bit lower. So I'm happy with this. So let's, and my target impact hour rate is 46. That's not bad. 46 wrapped XDAI per hour. Culture build tribute's a little high, but you know what? I have impact hours, so I'm biased. I want to see the people with impact hours get some money. Okay, so now next section is the Dandelion DAO. This is what it takes to make a passing proposal and this is really important for the Commons upgrade. So let's just, I think I like low quorum but high support required DAOs personally. I'm cool with a voting duration of 3 days. Vote proposal buffer. This limits the number of proposals you can have per day, per week, per year, but also it's kind of an edge case scenario for making sure if someone votes yes on something that they can exit. It's not really too important, honestly. Rage quit hours, I would like to give people at least 24 hours to exit. And I like a high tollgate fee so people aren't making random proposals to the DAO. So let's run this simulation, see what it looks like. You can see the minimum quorum is barely visible because I made it 1%, but this yellow will go up. And you can see the triangle went down. So let's say I wanted a quorum of 16% and lower this. You'll see it changes the graph. Super cool. Great work, YGG, on this one. And we'll just make this, but I really like high quorums, so, or low quorums and high this. So then let's see our results. I love this GIF. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. I think Lauren got this out of her Common Simulator post, so that's super cool. And yeah, target raise. So this kind of gives an overview of all the choices that you made, of all the parameters. And then we have some sentences here that explain some of the other parameter choices that are not visualized. So let's actually make this an issue on GitHub. And what happens here now is that when we make these issues, you'll see that you can actually propose. The parameters here are written out for everyone, and that everyone can see graphically what your parameter choices mean, and including a more detailed output scenario that talks about, like, okay, you know, more granular, what is the cultural build tribute, the Hatch tribute, and redeemable percent for every piece. It looks like I didn't let it load all the way. So, but yeah, for various different outputs. So that's super cool. So I'm ready to propose. One thing I didn't do is when I was in here, there is a comments, you know, this is for fun, and the walkthrough video. Let's just say this is for the walkthrough video. But maybe you might say, hey, I forked this from, you know, Griff's walkthrough video thing. I really think he's crazy for wanting such a high support required. Everything else is the same. I really loved his impact hours proposal, but I wanted to change the support required. So you can make comments in here about exactly what your thoughts are. And then it'll automatically come up here, and you can submit new issue. Oh, and you should probably make a better title than vote for my params, but it is there. And now anyone can come and look on GitHub. Now, I strongly recommend taking this and posting it on the forum. We'll have a forum thread that will say, hey, this is where you debate the parameters. And this forum thread is where you can talk about the macro level of the parameter choices. And this individual GitHub issue is where you can talk about the, like, hey, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? You can have a discussion with the person who chose these parameters. And if you like their parameters, but you want to change something, there's this play with my parameters here. And this will load the dashboard, and it will set the parameters to be the choices that that person had. You can see it here in the URL. It's like, here's the IH min is 400, you know, and all these things. So that's super cool. And but the first graphs will actually be loaded from the default settings. So you want to hit run simulation. So you're playing with so you can see what theirs was. And then when you make changes, you're saying, oh, you know what? I think you're giving the people with impact hours too much. Let's make it that, and this will give the people who have who are putting money in more skin in the game in the TEC Hatch DAO. So yeah, that's this is how how I'm looking at this dashboard and proposing parameters. But maybe you have different opinions. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to put in the comments below. And also, please help us design your economy, your choice. This is TEC token economy, that this is the Hatch DAO, and we're very excited to get your input and iterate on the best economy, and through iteration build the best economy that we can. Thank you.